we should take ownership of our environment. We should pamper it, nurture it, and treat it well. Not defecating in the open, not weighing in the open, not dumping the waste wherever it suits us.
See us Lagos clean.
But to see Lagos as ours and to collectively fix it.
The Ministry of Environment, them they work day and night.
Hello and welcome. Across Lagos, some public spaces have been used for purposes they were never designed for. From people sleeping under pedestrian bridges to the theft of manhole covers. These issues raise serious concerns about safety and the environment. This week, we take a closer look at both. This is the Lagos environment. I am Ibiarido Abuba. Please stay with us.
We are for Lagos State. Ayo, come and see. Papa, mama, see the road is good. See us water clean. No yama yama, drainage walk, gutter flow, brother, sister, no more beggy beggy. See the land is green, no, clean environment. Now the Lagos where we dream, oh, now him with the see, oh, now him with the see you. Dalu, oh, Eshe, oh, Nagodi.
Pedestrian bridges, walkways, and spaces under them are increasingly becoming homes for some people. But what drives people to make the streets their homes? Is it poverty, the rising cost of living, or simply a choice? Our first story looks at the growing concern around street urchins and people living in public spaces, as well as the environmental and safety implications.
This is a mat on one of the major pedestrian bridges within the Lagos metropolitan area. Its owner, however, is nowhere to be found at this time. It is one of many familiar sights across Lagos: pedestrian bridges, underpasses, walkways, spaces beneath bridges, places designed for movement and public use are increasingly becoming sleeping spaces for some people. For some, these spaces are temporary shelters. For others, they have become a way of life. But what drives people to make the streets their homes?
Open spaces without usage becomes an open what's we call attraction for misuse. So if your under bridges are not properly used, people will put in there because nature, it hates vacuum.
So many of them go to work actually. Maybe once they are done with their work, they come back to come and sleep on the bridge.
We find out that majority cannot avoid the accommodation. That is what causes it.
The answers are not straightforward. Some residents believe poverty and the harsh economic realities have pushed many people to the streets. Others, however, argue that some people living and begging in public spaces simply refuse to work.
You see a young guy that dressed well, you see them, give me this, it's totally unacceptable. Like, it's just so annoying and bad. It's not encouraging them to work hard.
I do see some beggars that are not disabled and they beg, and I was like, what are these people doing? Why can't they not just go and work?
For the Lagos state government, the issue goes beyond homelessness. The government maintains that pedestrian bridges, walkways, road medians and other public spaces are not residential areas. And there are growing concerns about the activities of street urchins and beggars, particularly where their presence is linked to harassment, intimidation, crime and other forms of social disorder.
It's not about not having empathy for people, no. But it's about people not commercializing that as a way of life. We take them on the street every other day.
But why do some of those removed from these spaces continue to return? What we discovered from our interview with the Corps Marshal of the Lagos State Environmental Sanitation Corps is that, in many cases, profiling of those picked up during enforcement operations shows that some are not originally from Lagos.
You know, Lagos, in terms of landmass, Lagos is small. But in terms of people in Lagos, it's really much. Go to Alaba Boko, you see thousands, you see thousands of them. Most of them, you don't even know what they are doing.
According to the Corps Marshal, many come from other states drawn by the belief that Lagos welcomes all, a city of abundance, opportunities, and possibilities.
Almost every day we are arresting. But you know how people chase them from Igondo, they go to Ijegun, chase them from this place, they go to this place. That may be the problem, but the number is gradually reducing.
Lagos has long attracted people from across the country in search of opportunities and a better life. But for some who arrive without stable accommodation or a means of livelihood, public spaces can become places to sleep, beg, or make a living. And this is where the challenge becomes more complex. For residents and commuters, the concern is not just about who occupies these spaces, but also what happens to the environment around them.
Some probably they are there because they have their aims, they have what they want to do. Because some are okay, but they just want to stay there just to steal and embarrass people. That's why some are there.
I think the main problem is a Nigerian problem. And it's the fact that Lagos is carrying the burden of other non-functional states. So the many states in Nigeria are non-performing. And because of that, there's an exodus of, lack of opportunities in those places, and people are coming to Lagos. And there are a lot of people who are in Lagos who shouldn't be in Lagos because they don't have the safety nets, don't have family members. Some of them lack the skills, to create value for themselves and then improve their lives.
For some residents, the situation becomes even more concerning at night. Pedestrian bridges and the spaces beneath them, which should provide safe passage for commuters, can become intimidating when occupied by people sleeping, begging, or allegedly engaging in criminal activities.
Okay, èèyàn sùn lórí bridge, ó jalè, ṣé á tún sùn bẹ́ẹ̀ padà? Ó máa sá lọ ni, olè ń wá ni.
But the challenge is not limited to people sleeping or begging in public spaces. In some locations, residents and commuters also raise concerns about the activities of street urchins and touts, including harassment, intimidation, and alleged extortion. Some commuters say they have encountered groups of young people who approach them aggressively, particularly around busy transport corridors and other crowded areas. And while government has repeatedly called for an end to roadside begging, it has also raised concerns about public patronage. Many Lagosians give money to people begging on the streets as an act of compassion. But government says such patronage can encourage more people to remain on the streets.
Once we are consistent with our enforcement and our advocacy, it's a matter of time. The thinking is always okay, government will not come again. And that's why I said people don't know that times have changed. We shall remain consistent with what we are doing with respect to sanitizing the states.
For Lagos, keeping its public spaces clean, safe, and accessible remains a shared responsibility. Government enforcement, public cooperation, and appropriate interventions all have a role to play as the city continues to grow. Because pedestrian bridges, walkways, road medians, and other public spaces must remain safe, clean, and accessible to everyone who uses them.
The increasing disappearance of manhole covers across Lagos continues to raise concerns over public safety, environmental sanitation, and the protection of public infrastructure. Under existing laws, such acts are treated as serious criminal offenses, including theft and vandalism of public property. Residents in different parts of the state are calling for stronger enforcement measures to address the situation. So, why does this continue to happen? And what is being done to stop it? Our second story takes a closer look.
It may look like just an opening on the road, but for pedestrians, motorists, and residents who uses these routes every day, an uncovered manhole can be a serious danger. Across Lagos, the increasing disappearance of manhole covers has continued to raise concerns over public safety, environmental sanitation, and the protection of public infrastructure. But how are some of these covers disappearing? Recently, a CCTV camera captured a scrap metal scavenger removing a manhole cover in Lagos. The footage offers a glimpse into how one of these covers can be removed from a public road. But this is not an isolated concern. The issue has been documented in different parts of Lagos since at least 2024, with uncovered manholes reported in areas including Ojodubega, Ikeja, Onikpanu, Egbeda, Ojuelegba and Surulere. Some were located along busy roads and walkways, places used every day by thousands of Lagosians.
I've seen a couple of them around Ikeja, Comta village to be precise, and I think it's not really a good thing because that's actually the pavements where people pass, and if the youth or the citizens are stealing them, taking them to other places, it can affect a lot of people. It can injure them, it can cause a lot of hazards.
It's not even only the manholes. If you watch all bridges that things that government do on the road, but they vandalize it at will.
They remove it in order to poo-poo inside those things or to pour dirt inside those things. So those are the reason why they remove all those things, and probably they sell it sometimes.
By January 2025, the matter had reached the Lagos State House of Assembly. Lawmakers raised concerns over the theft and vandalization of public infrastructure, including manhole covers. They called for stronger enforcement against those removing public infrastructure, better regulation of scavenging and scrap metal activities, and the replacement of stolen covers. There were also calls for consideration of alternative materials that will have little or no commercial value to those involved in the theft. But the problem continued. Later in 2025, the Lagos State Public Works Corporation reported that more than 4,000 manhole covers had been vandalized or stolen across Lagos State's 57 local councils. The agency also raised concerns that some replacement covers were being removed again. By June 2026, the Lagos State government was reported to have identified more than 6,000 exposed manholes across the state, with their covers stolen. About 4,000 of the affected manholes were reportedly covered with fiber materials. But what does the situation look like on the ground?
They remove all the manholes in Lagos now. Like the chairman of the local government, he's complaining bitterly. They remove all the manhole in Festac. And one for next thing is, some people are seeing them, they will not talk. They will see them damaging infrastructure in their area, they will not talk. How many infrastructure are not there? They are the ones that will not be shouting. They say it's not doing anything. They say it's not doing anything to help them. Security is a business for all. You see, you talk. And when you talk, some people will take action.
To understand the scale of the problem, we take a closer look at some of the affected areas across Lagos. Along sections of the Ikorodu Road corridor, particularly around the K2 and Maryland axis, several manholes without covers could be seen. The openings were located around busy routes used daily by pedestrians, motorists, commercial drivers, and residents. For residents who use these roads regularly, the disappearance of the covers is a recurring problem. Some say they have seen a manhole covered on one day only to return the following day and find the cover gone. Others recount personal experiences of falling into or narrowly escaping uncovered manholes.
I've experienced it once on Aja. I never knew there was a manhole there. It was late night, so I bumped into one and I felt it. Currently it's bad because it's defacing the whole of Lagos. And for those behind it are the scavengers.
No, I witnessed about some years ago where there was a large hole somewhere in the night. The guy went into it.
For these residents, the concern is not only about the missing covers, it is the danger they leave behind. An opening that may not be immediately visible can quickly become an accident waiting to happen.
Is a danger to lives. People are driving at night and there may be low visibility. People can get killed, accident can happen, so many things can happen in the process.
But who is taking the covers? Scavengers are often suspected because of the value of metal in the scrap market. Some residents say they have noticed people moving around areas where metal infrastructure was being removed. Others believe the covers are removed and sold for money. But these accounts cannot on their own establish who removed the particular covers observed during this investigation. And that raises another question. If stolen public infrastructure enters the scrap metal market, how is its source determined? What mechanisms exist to prevent stolen public assets from being bought and resold?
Iron condemn. Most of them, they are the one, from my own view, they are the one removing those irons. Those are the people they should hold them responsible, because they are the one taking. Because I have several times, like 2-3 times, I've seen them when they remove it.
The concern goes beyond the theft itself. The missing covers can create environmental problems too. During our observation of some of the uncovered manholes, sand, leaves, plastic materials and other debris could be seen around or inside some of the openings. Residents also expressed concern that waste entering the drainage system could obstruct the movement of water and contribute to drainage problems, particularly during rainfall. For residents, therefore, the issue goes beyond replacing the missing covers. They want stronger monitoring of public infrastructure, quicker intervention when covers are reported missing, better surveillance around vulnerable locations, and stricter action against those caught stealing or vandalizing public infrastructure.
Once I see you doing any illegality, or I'm kind of any operation and you are seen within that area, I will arrest you. That's what I will do. But I'm sure the state will soon come up with a stricter punishment.
There's going to be jail terms, fines. Let it be stronger, so that people know it's a bad thing to do that. And when one person is punished, 2 persons are punished, 3 or 4 or 5, the rest, take heed and they understand that it's not the right thing to do.
But replacing a missing cover only addresses the immediate danger. Preventing the repeated theft is the bigger challenge. It will require stronger enforcement, closer monitoring, responsible scrap metal trading, and cooperation from residents who report missing infrastructure quickly. Because a manhole cover may appear insignificant, but when it disappears, the danger it leaves behind can be anything but small. For the residents who use these roads every day, the expectation is simple. A manhole cover installed to protect the public should remain where it was placed. And when one disappears, action should be taken before the opening becomes another preventable accident.
urchins and people living in public spaces, as well as the disappearance of manhole covers, continues to generate concerns across Lagos. This week, we asked Lagosians, what do you think should be done to address these challenges and keep our public spaces safe? Let's hear what they had to say.
Open spaces without usage becomes an open what's called attraction for misuse. So if your under bridges are not properly used, people will put in there because nature, it hates vacuum, right? And people will always find ways out. So, and I think also the second part also is Lagos can actually use its hands. So if you get them you can actually find ways to use them. I mean, employ them, let them be street cleaners, let them be, you know, the ones in charge of this sort of, so let them be useful for against the melee or the problem that they're causing.
I've seen them sleeping under the bridge and even on top of the bridge. So one thing that comes to my mind is that the prices of house rents in Lagos is too much. So probably some of them could not afford the price of house rent. So they just resort to, because I've even seen some with their load in that place where they are. Some will just make a small shelter using nylon to cover it. So maybe the government should do something about the cost of accommodation in Lagos. It's too high.
Let them start. All these VIO policemen, they don't concentrate on government properties. Nobody's taking care of government properties. That's the basic thing. Nobody's taking care of government properties.
There have to be massive enlightenment. People have to know the reason why, I mean the negative or the bad effect, you know, when you pull those things out. The dangers are involved in it. You know, perhaps that could also help. But majorly, government should learn how to take care of people.
It boils down to the social awareness to create. What is the government doing? We have in Lagos, we have a task force, for instance, now. You know, they are there tackling people that are crossing roads. Is that what they are created for? So they ought to go out and actually sensitize society and get those people involved, picked up, prosecute them for every wrong that they are doing.
If the government appoints people, like specific people to stay on the road, probably monitor them, chase them away, do all sorts of things to avoid that.
If we can have Kai working in the during the day, and we can have them, some of the agents at night, to to check fat all this, and to ensure that people don't sleep under the bridge. I think this will curb the excesses of having those street urchins on the roads.
Did you know that under Lagos State Environmental Protection and Criminal Laws, the unauthorized occupation of public spaces, as well as the vandalization, theft, or destruction of public infrastructure are punishable offenses? The criminal law of the state prohibits stealing, willful damage and vandalism of public property, including street furniture and infrastructure. The unauthorized removal of manhole covers, bridge rails and iron rods is treated as felony theft and economic sabotage. The Environmental Management and Protection Law regulates waste collection, prohibits unauthorized cart pushing, and restricts illegal street trading or scavenging activities that compromise public spaces and road safety. The Street Trading and Illegal Market Prohibition Law outlaws hawking, trading or loitering on medians, highways and high-risk traffic zones which are often exploited by transient miscreants. The Criminal Code Act and Penal Code also govern offenses relating to theft of public property and receiving stolen goods, including scrap metal dealings that encourage such crimes. Pedestrian bridges, walkways, and other public spaces are designed to remain safe, accessible, and functional for all residents. Similarly, manhole covers are essential components of the drainage and utility system, helping to prevent open channels that could endanger pedestrians and motorists. Tampering with, removing, or damaging these installations is treated as critical infrastructure vandalism and attracts swift enforcement action by relevant agencies, including specialized task forces. Residents are encouraged to respect public spaces, safeguard public assets, and promptly report any suspected environmental or infrastructural violations to the appropriate authorities. Protecting Lagos is a shared responsibility. Keeping Lagos safe, clean, and orderly requires the cooperation of everyone. While government continues to enforce environmental laws and protect public infrastructure, residents also have the responsibility to protect public spaces and report environmental violations. The Honorable Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, has a message for residents of Lagos State.
We must take ownership of public infrastructure. We must own them. We are the taxpayers. It's like you allowing what is your own to be destroyed. We must take ownership, we must own them as ours. You can't destroy public infrastructure and you're happy. The money that ought to be used to do some other infrastructure somewhere will now be brought back to fix it. But this time around, we shall not allow that to happen. Eternal vigilance.
Ministry of Environment, them they work it day and night.
This week's stories remind us that protecting Lagos is a shared responsibility. Let's protect our public spaces, protect public infrastructure, and report environmental violations through the official channels displayed on your screen. Together, we can build a cleaner and safer Lagos. That's all on the Lagos environment this week. Thank you for watching. Join us again next week.
See us Lagos clean. See us Lagos green. Oh. The Ministry of Environment, them they work it day and night.